Kiana Carter Hartley. Just proud of our kids today for trying to execute the game plan as much as possible and being willing and able to make adjustments. And then down through the stretch, just being really focused on the task at hand with the interruptions that we had throughout the game, just kind of coming back to a focal point and getting back to that focal point and just kind of finishing. And the exciting thing is we get to play tomorrow. So just extremely happy that this group, their season continues to roll on.
All right, we'll open up for questions. Go ahead, Paul.
Coach Paul Chestnut, Fox Sports Pensacola Radio. You had a couple different players today compared to yesterday that stepped up.
Yes.
Scorer, top rebounder. How happy is that for you to see something like that with balance?
Oh, it's that's what you want this time of year, right? Because when you get to the conference tournament, everybody knows what everybody can do, and so when we always want to take away people's advantages, and so when they started to take away advantages, some of our players, like what they were trying to do, to have other kids step up and really, really perform well was huge. I mean, Dee Dee had 7 offensive rebounds. We always knew she could rebound, but the way she just flew in there tonight. And, Tamara Ortiz, I thought she was really good down the stretch. She started off rocky. She was delivering the ball, and then in the second half, she kind of found her groove. So whenever you can have great balance, when your team doesn't evolve around 1 or 2, it gives you a chance, especially in tournament play, to make a run for it. When you have multiple weapons that can provide defense, can provide scoring, can provide rebounding, it gives you kind of an advantage in when you have to play in tournament play. So just really happy that when their number was called and they needed to perform, they were ready.
For both players, how fun is this? You put back-to-back wins together here, and you guys are rolling. Just talking about the success that you're having right now.
It's really fun. I mean, every day we get to go out and play a new game, another game. So right now it's win or go home, and we don't want to go home. So it's just fun to go out there and be able to compete for as long as possible.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what Krista said, it's fun. We all 3 of us right here never been past round 1, and to be able to keep going and have faith in each other and putting God first in the middle of it, it just makes it even funner. And we build trust with each other throughout the year, a long season, so we just proud to keep it going.
Coach, what's the difference the way that your team is playing? You finished the regular season, now 2 wins in a row. What's the difference in your team now compared to, say, a month and a half ago?
It's just all coming together. We started this journey back in Greece, and they started to build camaraderie and trust and faith in each other way back in August. And we had some rough spots for sure. It's a long season, and so for young people to have to go through the season, there's gonna be ups and downs. But again, kind of what's happened with this group is during the downtime, they continue to show up every day for each other. They continue to fight, and they continue to get better. I can't tell you how many times after a home game we had kids in the practice facility or on the court shooting after a loss. I can't tell you how many times our assistant coaches were in there at 6:30 in the morning because of somebody's class schedule or doing whatever because they wanted to get extra shots in. They wanted to work on their ball handling. So I think it just goes back to our staff. I want to give E and Brandon and Colby a lot of credit in the recruiting process and making sure that we got young women that through adversity and hard times wouldn't fold. That we all have a common goal and we have a lot of similarities within our program. And so I think because of recruiting and because of the foundation of them as people and then the foundation of our program, when we went through those really hard times, we always talked about, we got receipts, we know we can play, we know we can score, we know we can defend, we've done it before, let's just get back to doing it, let's learn the lesson and move on. And so I think it just really gets back to the people that are in the locker room.
Well, winning's contagious. You got 2 in a row. I mean, it's more.
We got 5 in a row.
Well,
We're proud of that.
No,
just
how do you keep it going? I mean, did you keep the same routine today?
We will, yes.
Keep it for tomorrow? How do you keep everything going?
Well, we've picked out a nice little ice cream spot, so we'll go and get some Italian ice. And then we again, Mari and Z are tremendous in our recovery and our prep. So we've got some things lined up, and it's going to be exactly the same schedule. And then we'll enjoy this as much as possible for the next couple hours, and then at 6 o'clock, when we meet tonight, we'll start preparing for Texas State. So they'll get a lot of rest and recovery, and just the main thing is our bodies right now, making sure that our bodies are prepared, and then making sure that our minds are prepared once we start to go over the film at 6 o'clock. But we keep the same routine, and it's the hotel is great. Everything is great. They like the beds. They sleep really nice, and they like all the massages and everything that Z and the stretching that they do. So we're gonna keep the same routine and the same focus, and hopefully come in here tomorrow and roll the dice against Texas State.
All right. Any final questions? Go ahead.
Hi, Dan with WKOG News 5. How would you describe the incident that happened? What do you think led up? What were the reasons that kind of led up to it? You seemed very upset with the referees at times. I don't know if that's just a normal, everyday thing.
It is for me. No, I'm just kidding.
What do you think happened? And I couldn't understand what happened, like as far as ejections or what that was.
Right. Well, first of all, our program, we never want to be put in that situation, and we never want to act out like that. So we don't condone that. What happened today, it's a very unfortunate situation for two talented basketball teams that are playing in Pensacola in the tournament. With young people, sometimes emotions run high, and as they go through their growth process and their maturity, sometimes things happen. But we always try to look at it as a lesson learned, and make sure the next time that if we are put in a similar situation, that we just respond a little differently. And so that's what we'll talk about at the hotel tonight.
And who was ejected?
You know what? I don't even know right now. We had a bunch of them because, then it goes textbook. It goes by, kids on the bench, if they touch the floor, if they even touch the sideline. So there was quite a few, and there was some on their side. And, once they said whoever was in the game, I was worried about the 7 that were left to play and making sure that we got the win. So to be honest with you, I'm kind of blurred on that right now. I apologize.
Yeah, last question. Well, it seemed like both teams turned up the heat on defense. Do you think that it was just passions, or was it kind of frustration that led to the fight?
I think it's just the will to win. Coastal Carolina did not want to go home today, so they're gonna pressure and do whatever they can on the defensive side to stop our momentum, and vice versa. I think it just simply gets down to competitive young women and not wanting to go home. This is March, and it's called March Madness for a reason. And I think both programs, all 14 programs in the Sun Belt understand that you get one shot, one opportunity, or you go home. And so I think it's just simply the will to win that made us play a little bit harder and made them play a little bit harder.
Go ahead, Paul.
What type of matchup you expected then from what can you share with about Texas State?
Well, we played them twice now in the past 3 weeks, so they're going to be very familiar with us, and we're going to be very familiar with them. For us, I think it just simply gets down to our rest and recovery and our mental preparation. We'll tweak a few things. We don't want to overload them because they have so much confidence right now in what they're doing, and so we'll just kind of remind them of some defensive things we want to do, and some offense some 3 things on the offensive side of the ball that really work for us, and we're just trying to be as fresh as possible come 11:30 tomorrow morning.